What is the deeper acceptance we talk about? Well, when it's latched to something like, say, something in the present. Say, for example, I've been diagnosed with a disease. Perhaps I've been diagnosed with a lung disease. I can't tell myself a thought is a thought because it's happened. It's there. Right now, I am experiencing that disease. So I need to come to terms with that disease. Now, that is something that's happening in reality. Now, just getting comfortable with the thought and sensation doesn't tend to work from our position of how we're seeing the world, our sort of consciousness and perspective of the world, because that seems so exaggerated and scary. So we need to bring that down, which is where the philosophy and the rational thinking all comes in to form unconditional self-life. Another acceptance that we talk hugely about on these channels, about Albert Ellis's work, that really gets under it and helps break that down. Now, you don't need to get that nailed down fully to feel relief. It helps drastically take the edge off. That's the point of it. It helps to drastically take the edge off, but it does not need to be completely bolted down. Sure, over time, when I really felt I've embodied it, it released hugely. The chronic guilt and chronic anxiety released hugely, but that's not the only path. That is part of it. It's learning about how OCD operates, getting comfortable with uncertainty, changing your relationship with anxiety. Now, if I got, say, triggered, happens rarely, but if I got triggered and it was latched to something for that bit and I thought, I'm a bit bumpy on my acceptance here, I don't need to work out. I can see the fear of fear and then it just fades instantly, right? Because I'm confident and I understand it and I feel very separate to the thoughts, the sensations, and I can see that it's in tune with my reality. Let me explain. When I'm scared of a thought, I can see that as a process in the brain. When I'm scared of something happening in reality, I can see that reality is based on my perspective. So reality and thoughts is also separate because I can see that's all filtered through the lens of perspective. So whatever happens, I can see it's my perspective. So I know, hey, yeah, let's just see later on, I'll be able to get through that and then I'll feel distant to it and it separates, okay? So it never feels, I can see that everything I think and feel is filtered through that lens of perspective. So that's key. Like I know that if I got a disease or I was faced with a very difficult life circumstance, my perspective shapes that. So I can get under that by changing my perspective. So I'm confident. Before, when I didn't understand that, I thought anything that was real meant I should be chronically anxious or chronically guilty forever. And I should never feel relief and I should never feel peace ever, ever, ever again. And that's what kept me so chronically stuck, right? And so that used to consume all my life. So that's what happens with OCD and how our perspective of it all shifts. And it's all through this consciousness and perspective that we're seeing. I view OCD like almost being too conscious, like we're so conscious into our environment. We're so connected and into our environment. And that's what makes it feel so real and so scary because we feel so in tune. But it isn't that. It's just the lens we're seeing things through is just got a more perceived level of threat. And we're tuning that back bit by bit by bit to the position I'm in now. No chronic anxiety, no chronic guilt,